Greetings and welcome to the tarot chat for this 45-day Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance Tarot Challenge. So, this is our first official live chat during this challenge. I will be going live every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central so we can talk about our experiences
during this challenge. I will be going live every Friday at 7:30 p.m.
Oh, I was like, what is happening? I did not know I had my YouTube channel up. So I'll be going live every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central during this live stream, just so we could talk about our experiences with the challenge so far, and you can ask any questions that you might have, and we can go from there. So if you are new to the challenge, if you've missed the first few days, this is day 3, so we're still fairly new here. You can head over to my playlist. It's the first, it's posted as the first thing on my YouTube page. My YouTube is Wadjet, so you can head over there and you will see all of the prompts for the videos so far. And even though this challenge started on the 3rd of February, you can start at any time. The reason why I started this challenge on the 3rd of February is so this can take us right into spring equinox. That is the whole intention here, for us to connect with our inner guidance as we prepare for this transition into a new season. But this is open for any level, for anyone at any time. So feel free to start whenever you want. And let's get into just how this has been going for you. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I've been interacting with everyone in the comments. Everybody's been, posting. A lot of people have posted their cards for the day in the comments. We've been exchanging from there. I have also been doing this challenge myself. But one of the things I want to start with is pulling a card for the collective. I'm going to pull a card and we're going to go from there when it comes to just overall experience, when it comes to the takeaway so far. What is the message for the collective? Then we'll start to go into this experience broken down just by the days. The first few days the videos have been less than 2 minutes long. I get straight to the point. And let me know if you have been struggling with any of the cards you've been pulling, with kind of getting your own interpretation of it. Let me know and we can talk through that. All right. So a message for the collective. We have remembrance. And this card says, remember the light within your heart. Remember the light within your heart is the same as the rays of sun and the glow of the moon. The same energy that moves the ocean tides also stirs inside your heart. What is it that your heart truly desires? What have you not said to someone that you would like to say? Find and express your truth. So I want you to think about that in relation to this tarot challenge that we've been doing so far. So let's go through day 1. Let me pull up that prompt. So this is the prompt for day 1. What currently represents the biggest distraction in my personal growth journey, right? How does this relate to connecting and remembering, right? One of the reasons why I created this prompt for the first day is because oftentimes we are distracted more than we realize, especially when it comes to connecting with our intuition, when it comes to wanting to explore our personal growth journey and really take it to that next level. We get distracted through fear, through people, through relationships, through family, through work. Right? So what are those things that were showing up for you, and how does this relate to connecting with your inner guidance? Well, When it comes to remembrance, this is about remembering the truth of who you are. And before you can get there, sometimes first you have to look at what's in the way, even if the one thing that is in the way is you. Sometimes it's about having a new sense of awareness. It's about acknowledging what's actually there, acknowledging like is what is showing up, so then you can decide how you want to deal with it. And the takeaway from this is really to look at what is it that you learned from from the card that you pulled from day one. When it comes to what currently represents the biggest distraction in your personal growth journey, the card that you pulled, what is that telling you about your distraction? And are you at a point where you are ready to do something about it? You don't have to be. Sometimes acknowledging what's in the way is enough for you at the moment, and then you can take action later. But I want you to look at the opportunity that each of these tarot prompts bring to you after you have pulled your card, after you have looked at, why this card is showing up. Let's go into day 2. And if you have any questions on a specific prompt, let me know. So day 2, what best represents how I currently feel about my relationship with my inner self? So I feel like this was a really good one, right? First we start off with the distractions and what's in the way. Now we're looking at your current relationship with yourself, with your inner self. How do you define your inner self? How does that relate to this collective message? And I'm going to say this again. The message is: remember, the light within your heart is the same as the rays of sun and the glow of the moon. The same energy that moves the ocean tides also stirs inside your heart. What is it that your heart truly desires? What have you not said to someone that you would like to say? Find and express your truth. Sometimes the someone is your inner self, or your higher self, or your intuition, your divine spirit, whatever words, whatever verbiage that you want to use for that, right? Sometimes that relationship, that thing that you need to say to someone, is an aspect of yourself. And that is why it's so important to establish or strengthen the connection that you have with yourself. And that's why it's important to know kind of where you currently stand, because you might feel like okay, yeah, I know me, I know myself, right? You might feel you know yourself, but so you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You don't know what you don't know about yourself until you start to reflect, until you start to ask, until you start to really put a magnifying glass on where you're at. I'm doing this challenge too. And one of the things that I realize is that, there's always a progression. There's always room for improvement. There's always ways that you can refine and adjust, strengthen, kind of what you currently have. Sometimes you think you're on the right track, and you're on the right track, and then something is like kind of veering you in a slightly different direction when it comes to how you currently communicate with self. And if you're doing this challenge and you actually have an intention and you're committing to doing the entire 45 days, even if you're doing it in batches, I understand. If you don't have time to watch a less than 2-minute video and pull a card, that's fine. You might need to pull a few cards, one time, in one day, and do a batch. I get it, but you have to decide what is important to you. Go back to why you want to do this in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you need for yourself, and the value that you see in exploring your journey with your inner self. So let's go into today's prompt. So this is day 3. And if you're catching the replay here, or if this is a whole nother month, a whole nother year, season that you're watching this, and you're checking this out on the playlist, right? We are on day 3, and this is the day of this live stream. And today's live stream, and today's prompt was, which card best represents what I need most in order to feel more confident in trusting my intuition? So why is this question important, and how does this relate to this collective message of remembrance? Well, one of the reasons here is because, especially when it comes to like what card represents, right? When you're pulling tarot, and I want to go into pulling some tarot cards and kind of talking about that. But when it comes to your confidence and trust, those are 2 of the biggest things that can keep you stuck and prevent you from remembering the truth of who you are. And you're not going to, if you don't acknowledge the areas of yourself that don't feel confident, or that don't trust yourself, or there's a fear there, then it's creating a blockage. It's creating a barrier to your access, to how you access your spiritual abilities, your spiritual gifts. So something to think about, right? So let's talk about this through the lens of tarot. Many of you, I mentioned all levels are welcome here when it comes to this challenge. And I want you to, when you look at these cards, right? Today, I was looking in the comments, and some of you got reversals. So let's talk about reversals. I mentioned this in the intro video. It is your personal choice if you want to read reversals. How I go about reading tarot is I don't intentionally like shuffle my cards to create a reversal. But if you saw the live stream, the live stream that I did last week for the live introduction of this, you saw at the end that reversal that popped up when I was talking about I don't do reversals, but if a reversal shows up, I pay attention to it, right? And so a couple of reversals came up for a few people today. So what does that mean? I say pay attention to it, look at what that means, right? If you are, let's look at the 4 of Pentacles, right? As you are looking at this card, now, depending on your reading style, and you might not be at a point where you even know what your reading style is, you might not know kind of what feels true for you or what feels right. I encourage you to explore that during this challenge, because there was a point in my journey where I was like, I saw other readers and people like reading, doing readings with reversals. I've had readings where reversals were being used, but over time, and I've tried doing the intentional reversal thing, but for me, over time, I realized this one, this aligns more with my intuition. But let's look at how would you read a reversal. First, what does this card show up for you intuitively in relation to your question, right? And then look, let's turn it around. If I got this card in reverse, I'd first consider what are the general qualities of this card in the upright position? What does this kind of represent? What does this represent in the upright position? What shows up? What do I see? Even if you're just intuitive only, it's like, well, who is this person sitting here kind of holding on for dear life to this pentacle, to this coin? And it could feel like hoarding. It could feel like, wanting to just claim everything and just keep everything to self. It could feel like restriction. It could feel like, needing to save, needing to hold back, whatever that is, right? Whatever comes up for you, because it's really important for you to connect with what shows up in your intuition as you view the card. And then from there, because it's always going to be based on, what you're pulling the card for. Pay attention to what sticks out to you, what details stick out to you when you look at the card. Okay. And then view that card from the upright position. So if you ever get stuck on reversals, turn the card upright and see what comes up for you in the upright position. And then think about, well, okay, if this is in reverse, what would be the opposite of that? Or what would be the release of that? So if I mention here that, okay, this could feel like restriction, it could feel like hoarding, it could feel like holding on to, or maybe needing to, hold on more, right? Maybe I'm spending too much money. Maybe I'm focusing too much on, on material gain versus what I need to do. And I'm just using the day 3 prompt, right? So which card best represents what I need most in order to feel more confident in trusting my intuition? Maybe this means, maybe what I need, maybe I need this card is showing up. If this was showing up in reverse and I'm looking at this, it's like, okay, well, this person seems like he's holding on for dear life in order to maintain stability. And if this is in reverse, then I would look at it like, well, maybe I'm focusing too much on the material aspect of stability, and I'm not focusing enough on the energetic or spiritual or emotional aspect of stability. And maybe I need to release like what I consider my definition of stability in order to gain that confidence, in order to gain that trust. Maybe I'm placing too much attention there. So does that make sense? If this is in the upright position, then I already shared those qualities, right? I'm looking at that. It's like, okay, well, in reverse, maybe I need to let go of that. Maybe I need to release that. So just something to be mindful of. And then you can always go back to the book. I don't have the book for this thing. I really don't look at the book for this particular deck, but that's just something to keep in mind. So let's see here. Let me turn this off. So let me see. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's go to the comments. Greetings, Fem82. How are you? Have you been participating in the challenge? Let me know if you have. Greetings. I pulled a 5 of Pentacles for day 3. Okay. In reverse. Okay. Exactly. That's exactly what I do, reversals. Awesome. So what was your takeaway from that? Let me find that card. Let me find the 5 of Pentacles. And we can kind of talk about that. And I also want to talk about, I'll talk about court cards as well. Because I don't think, in the comments, I have not seen anybody pulling a, or share a court card. And I know not everybody is sharing the cards they pulled in the comments, which is fine. Not everybody has a YouTube account. Even if you're just doing this in your journal. Let me see. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. So you got the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, right? So let's walk through this, and I'll use this as an example, and then let me know what was your takeaway when you pulled this card for today. So in relation to today's prompt, the 5 of Pentacles, think about, for those of you watching, like what shows up for you in this upright position? Like what is going on? There's just a lot happening in this car. People leg broken. Look at Tink Tink over here, Timmy with the broken leg and the canes and they just struggle bus. Okay, like what is happening, right? Like what is going on with this Five of Pentacles? Even if you don't know the definitions, if you are brand new to tarot or you're just exploring, what is going on in the imagery? If I never saw this card before in my life, I'd be like, what is happening? I'm trying to get this to focus. Okay, it's like, what is going on? They are just looking kind of, they're not living their best life right now, right? So in relation to day 3, which card best represents what I need most in order to feel more confident in trusting my intuition? If the upright position is looking like, being abandoned, being kind of on the outskirts of society, being, left behind, being, kind of down on your luck, being kind of really lacking just the, basic resources, right? If that was reversed, then it's like, well, maybe I'm too worried about all those things that could happen, and I just need to let that shit go. Right? Maybe what I need most is to not be fixated on what the worst things that could possibly happen. And maybe I should focus more on what I gain from just exploring, like, and just being curious about, like, man, let me try this confidence thing. Maybe the world won't end and I won't end up homeless if I just start to pay attention to my intuition and listen to it more. Because it's not like it's not there. Your ass just ain't listening. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying in relation to this card, like it could be like you got the intuition, you just got to listen to it more. That's been my experience. So, okay, I took it as I took it as I never asked for help from my intuition. I struggle along to acknowledge my inner voice. Okay. So yeah, so even with that, and think about with the pentacles, this is in relation to the material world, the earthly plane, right? Very 3D. So that makes sense. I need to use it, listen to it, exercise it, and stop being the victim of the circumstance. Exactly. Right? Because you're just so used to it. And in the upright position, it's like, oh, this is your comfort zone right here. Believe it or not, the Five of Pentacles is your comfort zone. But to be in a state of to not be in a mindset that is creating lack, to be in an abundant mindset, like who is that? What's that? I don't know her. We don't know abundance mindset around here. Right? And so that's what this reversal is showing up like what's going on? It's so true. Let that shit go. Yes. Yes. Exactly. So one of the benefits here, one of the benefits with reversals is we really you get a different perspective, and a card that can seem quite negative in the upright position, when you get that card reversal, can mean, okay, you're holding on to things that are limiting you, and this is the warning, this is the opportunity, this is now it's time to release. What if you get a positive card? What seems like a positive card in a reversal? What if you got this? So I just grabbed this one. What if you got a temperance card? A temperance is all about, finding balance and alignment. And what if you got this in a reversal? then right, what's saying is that, which card, and we're just using day 3 as an example, which card best represents what I need most in order to feel most confident in trusting my intuition. If you got this in the upright position, it's like, okay, what you need is to find that balance between kind of the inner and outer aspects of self. But if you got this in reverse, and it's like, well, maybe what you need most is to find that balance within yourself. And even with these type of cards, always look at it through different angles. That's one of the things I love about tarot. That is one of the things I love. And you can really get a lot of information through looking at these different angles. And I really, even though I said, like, a card that seems more positive, what is really negative, what's really positive? It's all information. It's all information. It's all an opportunity to gain some understanding. So something to think about. Now let's go into, and let me know in the comments, what has been your experience? What have you liked about this challenge so far? Does it seem overwhelming? Does it feel like it's just enough here? Oh, wow. What does this feel like for you so far? And let me find some court cards, because I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck with court cards. And it hasn't come up yet, and I also want to talk about the death card. Okay. And when it comes to this challenge, if you are at a point where, yes, this is an unconventional approach to connecting with tarot, and that's the point. Is for this to be unconventional. Why? Because so many times I've come across people that are overwhelmed. They get overwhelmed with tarot. It's too much. It's too much to learn. And I created this challenge as an opportunity for you to explore through the lens of intuition, right? To start from there. Because then you're not trying to focus on the full system of tarot, which you should learn at some point. But this is a way for you to lower that barrier of entry to understanding what tarot can do for you personally. Then you can gain more perspective through the lens of seeing the bigger picture. So these first 3 days have been confirming a lot for me. That's good. And that's what I want, right? One of the great things with tarot and through this process, and even getting readings, whether you're doing readings for others, you're doing them for yourself, tarot can either help you gain clarity or confirm something that you've already kind of been feeling. And oftentimes it is about confirmation. It is about, like, damn, I was kind of feeling that way, and I was kind of avoiding, or I was kind of ignoring this aspect of my feelings, but yeah, I'm not going to explore that right now. And then the tarot card shows up to read you for filth. Because that's what happens to me on the regular. It's either tearing me to shreds, or it's confirming what I've already believed, or it's giving me clarity or a new perspective on something. It's just like, you know what? Okay, I'm seeing something a little differently now. So I'm glad that these first 3 days have been confirming for you. Now let's talk about some court cards. What happens if you get a court card in one of your prompts? Like, what does this even mean? Who is this person? Who are these people? What is going on? Here's my perspective. And you'll see, if you look in the definitions of some of these books, it'll say, oh, the court card might represent a person, and it might. But what I want you to consider is that, especially specific to this challenge, this is about you, right? So unless a prompt is referring to, a specific person, I want you to look at these court cards as aspects of yourself. So everyone, we all have everything that shows up in tarot. It's all an aspect of who we are. And the court cards are representations. They can be viewed as representations of different aspects of ourselves and how we're showing up in a particular area of our life. So that's what I want you to think of the court cards. Let me pull them all out here, right? Different aspects of your personality, different aspects of how you are navigating your life, right? Of how you're taking action or lack thereof. So something to think about there. Hold on here. There are, give me just a moment. Okay. Who is that here? Hey, what is going on? Welcome. Hold on, where'd you go? I just lost that comment. You're late, but you're here. You are late, but you're here, and that's all that matters. So just think about that when it comes to I'm trying to find some of these other court cards, because it hasn't shown up yet, but you might get stuck there. This could be an aspect of yourself, or how you are showing up, or how you're not showing up, right? Depending on the card. So that's what I want you to think about. Like, what is happening in this card? A whole lot of sitting around and standing around, right? So how does that energy show up for you in relation to that particular prompt? How do you show up in relation to the King of Swords? Let me see. I have a couple questions. I pulled the Tower today. The cards are confirmations, but I struggle reading them. Let me know what you struggle with. I'm glad they are confirmations, right? And that's good. Getting the confirmation is good. Confirmations are good because it's an indicator. It's like, okay, you know what? This is helping build my confidence in what I've already been, I've already been noticing about myself. So just something to think about. The wind wants to help with the lot. Listen, let me tell you about the howling winds of Chicago. Y'all, it don't stop. We've been on a winter snowstorm watch, and all this stuff has been going on. And it just happens all the time. It's just like, what do you mean by showing up? So what I mean by showing up is who are you being in that moment, or who are you being in that experience? Who are you being in relation to that particular tarot prompt? So let me go through the different cards. Now, another thing with the court cards is you have a king, you have a queen, you have a knight, and you have a page. So with that, and I'm going to pull out the ace, an ace as well. Let me find one full suit, just so I can kind of walk you through that. And then we can kind of go from there. All right, we got Page of Cups. Let's find the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups. We got the Ace. All right. Okay, let me find the King. All right. So, where is the King of Cups? All right. Nope, nope. There we go. Okay. So we have one suit here. Scarlett, if you're still in here, let me know if I clarify that for you about showing up. I switched decks because the first one I was using, the images were over my head. What deck were you using at first, Wanda? Let me know. Okay. And what deck are you using now? So let's look at this in order. This is the order that I kind of put these in. Okay. Think of a deck of playing cards. And let me take this banner off. Right? You have your ace, page, knight, queen, and king. So I like to look at the courts as this, it's a progression, a succession, progression of rank, responsibility, and authority, and experience level. The ace, I view the aces as the thing that ignites. It's like the flame, it's the spark, it's the possibility, the potential, the potentiality, right? Of what can you do with this? Like you have, there's something here, and now you got to mold it into something. You take that idea, you take that spark, you take that burst of inspiration, and now you got to do something. And right, and when you first have the idea, and then and let's use tarot for example. You're taking this challenge, maybe you've never used tarot before, and this is your first time learning, and just like, I'm not sure what this really means. And it's like, okay, well, this is new. And now the page is like the adolescent or the freshman, the beginner. You're the novice. You don't have much experience, but you do have much enthusiasm. That's what I tend to see from the Page of Cups, or just from the pages in general, right? I'm just using the cups as an example, but I'm talking about just the essence of the court cards in general. All of the aces are about the potential, are about the possibility, that first, that initial burst of inspiration, that potential of opportunity of what it can be. And now you got to create some experiences with it. So now you're the novice. You have a lot of interest in learning, but you're not quite sure what to do. But you're ready. You're willing to kind of go that extra mile. Or you might be terrified and scared. It just depends on what's happening, right? You might not have as much confidence in what you're doing. You're willing to learn, but you don't have as much confidence, right? And you So there's a lot that can happen here. You have to look at things on a spectrum, which is something I talk about often in my program. So really looking at, yes, this is new. I'm willing to learn. I might not have the confidence or the experience yet, but I have the desire. I have the curiosity. Then we progress to the knight, right? Now the novice is not going to have a lot of responsibility, right? The knight is about taking action. The knight has awareness. The knight is very much geared towards, like, okay, well, I view it more as a like a single-minded task. Like I have my orders and I'm moving forward with that. Very directional, not always looking at the expanded point of view, because that is where the queen comes in. Right? Who's giving the orders? Who's enforcing those orders? Right? Who's taking that action? So looking at just the energy and the action behind the knight. And you'll notice like this particular knight compared to like the Knight of Pentacles, the knights are different. There's different level of activity going on, and a lot of that's in relation to their suit. But it's like, okay, well, there's movement here. So you're not just thinking about and curious and kind of, no, the knight has the confidence. The knight has more confidence to act and to take action more so than the page does. So more action is happening with the knight. Right? So if the knight shows up for you, how does that show up in relation to the amount of action or lack thereof that you're taking? And then you have the queen. The queen has more responsibility. The queen has, I feel like the queen is the glue that the queen holds it down, in my opinion. Right? The queen is holding it down. The queen is the one that is managing both aspects of the knight and the king. But the queen can stand her ground. The queen has compassion, but the queen has direction and has definitely has more of a global view. And even when it comes to if you show up as the queen, right? Even just the aspect of feminine versus masculine aspect. Then we have the king, the one that like you're at the top of the ladder, the top of your game. You have reached this level, right? You've reached you're the big fish in the small pond, so to speak. Maybe you have reached like you like you are the expert. There's not much room to grow, maybe. Or maybe you need to refine. You have to stay more focused. You have to refine your focus. You have to focus on the vision. Solely on the vision. You can't focus on yourself and everybody else. So that's kind of what I see with the king. And there's different personality traits, but I want you to look at the perspective just from a point of view of level of experience, level of confidence, level of willingness to learn, level of responsibility. How do those things show up for you in the court cards? So just something to pay attention to. Yes, thank you. I don't have a lot of experience with the court cards. Okay, good. Yeah, I felt I wanted to cover that. because it's something where a lot of people get stuck on it. I used to get stuck on it, and I was just like, what is going on with these court cards? Like, who are these people? And truth be told, and I talked about this in my mentorship program, of like, they'll say, oh, well, this represents somebody that you know with fair skin and blonde hair. It's like, I am black. Now, I'm a black woman who, and I'm not saying I don't know people that have fair skin and blonde hair, or fair skin and red hair, but more often than not, in my immediate circle or whatever, like, it's just not as realistic. That's a whole nother conversation. So I don't focus so much on the on, oh, this person's going to show up with, that's going to be tall with blonde hair and blue eyes, like, because you'll see this in the deck. I mean, in the book, okay, and that does not fully represent our how we use tarot in this society today. So I don't want you to get caught up on that part. Not saying that that it won't show up for you in that way, because it might actually represent a person. But my perspective of the court cards, it can also be a representation of you, an aspect of your personality, where you are in your journey when it comes to learning and growing. Are you the novice, right? Are you the beginner? Are you the intermediate? Are you the expert? Or is it self-mastery? Where are you at? So just look at it from all of those levels. Tori Hartman's Chakra Wisdom Tarot was the first deck. Okay, I switched to the Chris Ann the Light Seers Tarot. This is new to me. Okay, I think do I have the Light Seers Tarot? I think I've been eyeing that one for a while. Let me pull that up really quick. I have so many decks. I'm not sure. I think I've been eyeballing this one for a while, but I don't think. Okay, no, I don't have this one yet. It's been on my list of things. Because yeah, it's cute, and I love that it's borderless. Yeah, that's a cute deck. I've been eyeballing this one for a while. Yeah, this one would definitely be better. I'm just looking at some of the images online. And yeah, that's definitely, actually, let me pull this up really quick. Let me do a quick share screen, just so y'all can see. Let me see, will it pull it up? I just had an image up. So here are some of the cards. Can y'all see that? There we go. So those are cute. Cute cards. You love both of those decks. Cool. The Harmon deck was my ace that turned me onto tarot. Awesome. The images are beautiful to look at, but when I try to interpret them, I don't know where to begin. Yeah, and that's why, I always think it's good if you are wanting to learn tarot to always just get the basic, the tried and true, the basic Rider-Waite deck. And I feel like this is good to, even if you don't like the Rider-Waite deck, right? To have this so you can have the comparison. Because when it comes to understanding the interpretations, there's so many different interpretations within, how a tarot reader, I mean, there's so many different decks out there. And even though the system, because one of the main differences between tarot and oracle is the system of tarot, right? There's no system behind oracle. It does. So by the system, there's no specified structure. It could be, it's up to the artist and the creators in interpretation and what they want. But when it comes to tarot, for the most part, every deck, no matter what kind of deck, you can have all types of themes with tarot or oracle, but the tarot deck is always going to have 78 cards. There's always going to be a major arcana and a minor arcana. There's always going to be court cards. There's always going to be this, and there's always going to be the four suits, right? There's always going to be either the cups or chalices, the swords, the wands, and the pentacles or coins, right? The names might be slightly different, but those elements are pretty much the same. And each element is, each suit represents an element, right? So cups represent water, swords represent air, pentacles or coins represent earth, and wands represent fire. So that's always going to be the same. Every artist's interpretation might be slightly different, but those are the main things. So, and I think it's good to, if you don't already have just a standard Rider-Waite deck, the one that I use, Wanda, is I have the Radiant Rider-Waite, and I just like the clarity of the images. There's different versions of the Rider-Waite. I also have Morgan Greer. This is the Morgan Greer Tarot, another Rider-Waite. But you see, it's the images, it's borderless, very much like the Lightseer's Tarot. So this might resonate with you more because it's similar, because it has borderless, the colors are more vibrant compared to the Radiant Rider-Waite. So this, this one might resonate. But one of the things that I would recommend doing is, even if you don't want to invest in another deck, then download the app. If you have not downloaded my free guide, then click in the description of this video and you'll see the free guide. I give some recommendations on some apps that you can download for free. So that way you can pull your card and then pull up the app so you can see what that card is in traditional Rider-Waite, to give you more depth and give you more clarity. Because with these cards, the interpretations, I mean, they're beautiful, but if you're very new to this, having that kind of the kind of standard of the traditional aspect will be beneficial for you. And it also will help you see how the artist interprets the Three of Pentacles. What is their interpretation of it? So something to keep in mind. I hope that was helpful. I remember being very triggered by one of the cards from the Hartman deck. It was the best release. I'm telling you, the triggery of it all, child. And some cards will do that to you. Some cards in a deck, some cards will make or break a deck. Like I mentioned this with in the Morgan Greer Tarot, one card I cannot stand, the Devil card in this. Let me show you my my favorite card and the card I dislike the most in the Morgan Greer. One of my favorite cards. Well, I have two favorites. I have more than two favorites, but okay, let's see. Now the geek in me is coming up. Because I'm like, ooh, I could just break all this stuff down, but no. Stay on task. Stay on task. It seems like the wind had a lot to say about the deck. I'm telling you, listen, it's been so hard to record videos. So, I've been recording these tarot prompts, but do you hear the howling winds of Christmas past going on out here? It's so hard to pre-record a video because I'm just like, I can't edit that out if I'm in the middle of talking. It don't stop. So it's just like, okay, well, I have to try to record at some weird time when I hope I don't hear the winds. And it's in every, they need to insulate the damn windows. But okay. One of my favorite cards in Morgan Greer Is she not slaying the game here? One of my favorite cards. She is gorgeous. She is radiant. She is everything. And then the card I just do not like. This is the worst. Like, and I love a good devil card. Okay, but this one ain't it. I was like, what is this? Just, I hate it. Cannot stand that card. But this is another card I love. I love this death card. So the death card, the Queen of Pentacles, those are two of my like make or break cards. If I had to decide on the deck, it's like, what's their death card looking like? What is their Nine of Pentacles looking like? Because, and then also the High Priestess and the Tower and the Devil. But since they showed up with a whole, I loved all the other cards, but I was like, if I would have seen this Devil card before, I don't know if I'd have this deck, but it had other points because it's a borderless deck, and I love a good borderless deck, and it's very vibrant in color compared to the Radiant Rider-Waite. What I like, if you notice here, right, you get more with the Morgan Greer. It's very up close. You get more detail in the background of the Radiant Rider-Waite. So it's really all personal perspective, though. It's a personal choice. I'm glad that was helpful. Good. So true. The interpretation of the Five of Pentacles in the book of the Dead Tarot is completely different than the standard interpretation of Rider-Waite. Yes, and that's why I do think it's important, and why I think at minimum having an app that you can reference, because there's so many different interpretations, and this is another reason why I like to lead with intuition, and then we pull back into the structure and breaking that down even more. But for those of you, if you're new, starting at this point, to confirm what you already believe, to reinforce your intuitive abilities now, and see how that one card, because you're just focusing on the one card and how that shows up for you, will be very helpful. So having an app, I know not everybody is a tarot deck hoarder like I am. So, I want tarot to be accessible, and there's so many apps out there. I will eventually do an app review on some on some of my favorite apps, and apps that I would recommend, just like the ones that I've mentioned in the free guide. So be sure to check that out. She is a whole vibe. She really is, and just living her best life. So yeah. So there's that. Oh, so let's look at this. So earlier I pulled the Five of Pentacles. So you see what the Five of Pentacles. Let me just show you how different a card can be. Because we were just talking about that. Let me find this. Just so you can see that, like, there's such a difference in the visual aspect, and why I have so many decks. one of the reasons why is because it's a whole new way to see like what comes up. It's a whole new viewpoint. I mean, look at the different interpretations of this. Look how different that is. They are both beautiful, but very different. Even though the essence is the same. But let me pull the Five of Pentacles out of the Modern Witch Tarot, just to share with you why. Because here's the thing with tarot, okay? My perspective, it's a lifelong learning process. I've been reading tarot for years, and I'm still and I'm always learning. There's and even through seeing other people's interpretation of certain cards. Here we go. You get a very different experience, or you get to see how um, it pulls from a different place. Okay, so now we have the Five of Pentacles in the Modern Witch Tarot, which is much closer in similarity to the Five of Pentacles in the Radiant Rider-Waite compared to the Morgan Greer. But you see, in the Five of Pentacles in the Modern Witch Tarot, we don't have an older woman and what can seem like a child or someone younger, right? So you see the difference. It's a different mood, but the essence is the same. But you get a different vibe from each one. So something to keep in mind. Watch out, she'll turn you into one. I really will. It really is. It's a disclaimer that I need to just, listen, I warned y'all in advance during the live stream, during the live introduction of this challenge. I warned y'all, and the next time I open up the mentorship program, it's, I I do a ton of deck reviews. I will be doing deck reviews on this channel at some point. At some point, I don't know when. Yeah, and you will be down the rabbit hole. Yes, soon you will be. When you have multiple decks, how do you know which one to use? I go by just what I'm drawn to intuitively. My decks talk to me. So when I am looking at a deck, or if I have one, two, three, I have 4 decks in front of me right now. Whatever deck is talking to me, like, hey, let me use me. Sometimes I just feel intuitively drawn to a deck. And I have a ton more decks. I have over 50 decks. It might be over 60 now. I don't know. 50. I know I have over 50. It might not quite be at 60 yet, but and it's a combination of tarot and oracle. So I'm not sure. So sometimes I am just led to a specific deck. However, if I am drawn to, let's say for the purpose of this challenge, if I am drawn to use a particular deck, because my main deck, my personal deck is not this. And it's one that's a different interpretation. And I've showed that in a video. And if, whenever I do a walkthrough, that'll probably be the first walkthrough I do is of my personal deck. And that's one that I use. When I say personal deck, it's a deck that I use just for myself. As a reader, I use my decks to read for other people. But that one, I don't use that deck to read for anybody else. It's just solely for me. But you don't have to have anything like that. But say for this challenge, I would pull that card from my personal deck. And then even though for the challenge, I've been using this deck. But if I wanted to pull from that deck, I would pull that card for myself. And then I would look at the Rider-Waite interpretation. That's what I would do in if you have multiple decks and you have your main deck that's not a Rider-Waite based deck, or it's like an interpretation of it, then pull your card and then do your intuitive aspect of the reading, and then look at the Rider-Waite version of it, and see if there's anything else that comes up for you. I'm at 26 decks with 2 more in my Amazon cart. Listen, there needs to be a club. Okay, for there's got to be a club or something for those that are, I don't know, tarot anonymous or something. Something's got to give, I'm telling you. But one of the great things is there's so many different ways, so many different things. So I pulled, for those of you that are interested, we're going to get ready. Let me know if you have any other questions, because we'll get ready to conclude. This is the card that I pulled for our collective. If you're just tuning in, I shared a collective message for today, which is remembrance, and I use Spirit Oracle. And I'll just do a refresher on this. The remembrance card says, remember the light within your heart is the same as the rays of sun and the glow of the moon. The same energy that moves the ocean tides also stirs inside your heart. What is it that your heart truly desires? What have you not said to someone that you would like to say? Find and express your truth. All right, so that is your collective message for today. And what can you expect for tomorrow? So for those of you that are on my email list, I've been sending out, you've been getting the email bright and early. And I also have the videos posted early. On the weekends, I'm going to post them later. I won't post them as early on the weekends, because who's up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday? I don't know. Well, maybe you are. Sometimes I am, but I post them a little later on the weekends, so you can expect that. But yeah, we're going to carry on with day 4 tomorrow. And then we're going to go into our first main theme for the upcoming week. So Saturday is kind of wrapping up this week. And then Sunday, I will talk about the theme for that particular week. And then you will get your prompts as normal. I'll be posting the videos at 5, bright and early, 5 a.m. Central is when you get the video, is when it's uploaded on YouTube. And if you're on the email list, then you will also receive the email with the link as well. It needs to be a 12-step program. Seriously, it is a problem. Oh my gosh. It's a good problem though, for now. I've been doing good. But yeah, I hope that you all have enjoyed this live stream. Greetings via. You are tuning in just as we are wrapping up. We went through the 3 prompts that's been going on so far. And I appreciate those of you that have had the opportunity to share your cards, the cards you've been pulling in, and posting that in the comments. If you are just tuning in and you're like, what the hell is this challenge that's going on? Head over to the main part of my YouTube channel, Wadjet, and you will see the first playlist is Tarot Challenge. Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance. That is the name of the challenge. There's a full playlist. Every video for this challenge will be in that playlist, and I have it pinned at the top. And you still have time. If you're seeing this 2 days late, you still have time to catch up. You can start at any point in time. But if you want to join those of us that are, as I'm actively doing this challenge with you all for this 45 days to carry us into the spring equinox, then I would highly encourage you to tune in, catch up on all the cards, so you can start bright and fresh with us on Sunday as we prepare for our first official theme. So this first few days, since we started on a Wednesday, has really just been about gaining some clarity of self. And we're going to take that into another phase, a focused theme for the upcoming week. So I hope the whole point of this is for it to not be overwhelming. That's why the videos are super short. I mentioned that on the introduction that the longest a video will ever be is 5 to 7 minutes max, right? But so far the videos have been under 2 minutes. So I've been doing good. I feel like I've been doing good. So I really hope that you're enjoying this. And if you know somebody that is new to tarot, that's interested in learning, or has been kind of putting tarot on the back burner, and they want a new way to to connect and be a part of this challenge, then be sure to share this video and direct them to the tarot challenge guide, and that basically gives you kind of what to expect for this challenge, and you can find that in the description of every video here. And yeah, if you are enjoying this, be sure to leave a comment. Thank you, Wanda. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. Oh wow, I just got into my parents' house. I catch the replay. Okay, I had a question about the card. Yeah, Via, I responded to your question. Hold on. So before I conclude, you did have a question. So you probably haven't seen my response. So while you are on here, let me read my response to you while you're on here. And then if you have any additional questions, let me know. Will it let me pull this up? Let me see. Let me find it. Because you had a reversal. Okay. You haven't seen it. Yeah, so I'll just read to you what I have said about it, and then just let me know what shows up for you. Because I asked in the comments, what are your prompts? So this is what so for those of you that are watching, let me read her post, and then I'll read my response, because this might be helpful to others, you know? Okay. So Via's post, and this was for the day 3 prompt. Okay. And so let me just pin the prompt for today. So it says, so today's prompt is, which card best represents what I need most in order to feel more confident in trusting my intuition? Okay, so Via pulled the Devil card. And she says, this card flew out of the deck, flew out and fell in reverse. The picture reminded me of Baphomet. The devil is standing on the door, which bonds. Let me pull this Devil card out, just so y'all can see. All right, Devil card. Where are you? Okay, so here's the Devil card. This is the card that she pulled, but it flew out and fell in reverse. Okay. She said it reminded her of Baphomet standing on the door, which bonds two beings in a chains entangled with each other at the door. It looks like a loop. The image that represents the female character is holding the grapes by her tail, and the male character is holding fire, which is being lit by Baphomet, which tells me that they have the knowledge to escape, but they are choosing to stay in this loop. When I see grapes, first thing that pops up for me is the fruit of knowledge. Comfort in their pain, which is the loop, and stuck. And then she shared her interpretation of the app. And she shared, this card doesn't foretell doom, only the need for prudence. This card is very interesting. May I please get some clarity on why it jumped out in reverse? Okay. So she got this card in reverse. And this is what I shared. A very interesting card indeed. The Devil card in the upright position represents attachments and being bound, often voluntarily, to situations, people, or things in the earthly realm. So in reverse, this Devil card tends to represent a readiness or a need to release the chains that you've allowed to bind you. This could be a warning or a wake-up call for you to let go and break free. What are your thoughts on this? So let me know via, that was my response for why it jumped out in reverse. And I mentioned, jumper cards are a thing. And when it jumps out, listen, that's your card. And it's telling you for a reason. Spirit be like, listen, this is what you need to know right now. So whatever you are allowing yourself to bind you and hold, like whatever you are staying bound to, it's time to let that shit go. That's what it's time for. So let me know your thoughts on that video while I am here with you on the live. And then if you have any further questions, post those in the comments of the day 3 video, and then we can continue to interact from there. So just let me know if that was clarifying for you or not. Let me know. And while I'm thinking about it, like this video if you liked it. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. Yes. All right. And hold on, let me make sure. Via, are you still here? Let me know. Okay, because I want to make sure that's where the most engagement will be, is in the comments of each video. So even if you are behind on a few of the videos, you can still post your card in the comments and let me know if you have questions. I'm not sure if I'm fully aware exactly what I'm bound to. So that could be the very thing. And maybe that is part of it, right? Sometimes you're so in your situation that you don't even realize that you are allowing it to kind of hold you hostage voluntarily, so to speak. So think about how the devil card shows up for you, right? Based off of this prompt, which card best represents what I need most in order to feel more confident in trusting my intuition? So think about this in relation to, do you currently have trust in your intuition? Do you currently feel confident in your intuition? Let me know. Let me know. Because also if this is in reverse, right? This could also be a sign that the thing that once bound you from having that confidence is no longer there. Maybe you have let this aspect go, and now this is just a reminder for you to maintain or to reinforce whatever it took for you to get to that point. So this could be just a reminder, like, hey, you've come out of this, don't fall back, because it's because it's just a it's like, oh, you came out of this, but this is just a warning. Don't stay unbound. It's easy for you to turn right back around here. So stay unbound, stay free, keep that same momentum, because it won't take much for you to return back to this. Does that make sense? Yes, you're here. Good. Okay, good. More than you had before. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, good. So yeah, so you see, it's like, okay, yeah, if you're just coming out of it, it's like, yep. So just be mindful. You're in a good place now. More than you had before is better than you were, and you want to stay there and keep progressing. So just be mindful of any signs, any signs that come up that might take you back to that place of being bound in something that is no longer serving you. Alrighty. So it has been a pleasure. We will be back here again next Friday at 7:30. I will be here every Friday at 7:30 for our tarot chat in relation to the challenge. And then I usually do a live stream or do an uploaded video on a Tuesday. So that still might happen as well, but that would not necessarily be related to tarot. Maybe it will be. I'm not sure. You got to stay tuned. But other than that, be sure to head over to my website, wadjet.com. And if you are interested in tarot and learning about and want to be on the email list so you can get the emails for the videos, or if you want to or if you want to be on the waiting list for my next tarot mentorship program, whenever I decide to launch that, then head over to wadjet.com and click on Tarot Table Talk so you can get on the waiting list for that. Also, you can check out my podcast, Fit Body, Fit Spirit is the name of my podcast. And I drop a new podcast every Thursday. So if you have found any of my content on YouTube interesting and you want to have some other resources and connect with me, you can do so through my podcast and also on my Instagram at Fit Body, Fit Spirit. Other than that, this has been so much fun. I love talking about tarot, all things tarot. I just love it. Like a reminder of the boundaries that I've created about my maintenance. Absolutely, Via. Yes, 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 yes. You are welcome. Listen, enjoy your weekend. You will get that tarot prompt. It won't be at 5 o'clock in the morning. It'll be later in the morning. And then for day 4, and then for day 5, we're going to prepare for our first full theme. So I'm excited about that, and I will you'll get more information about that on Sunday. Other than that, I will see you all on the next one. Bye.